Hey athletes, what's going on? Happy Wednesday. Brianne Showman here, physical therapist and performance coach with Get Your Fix Physical Therapy, Get Your Fix Nutrition, CrossFit coach, and running technique specialist. And I work with you athletes to get you from injury to PR in 8 to 12 weeks. So I get a lot of questions about foot issues, a lot of times, specifically plantar fasciitis, many of the times. And a lot of times these questions revolve around orthotics and if orthotics are the answer, what orthotics they should get, over the counter, custom made, that sort of thing. And so I wanted to hop on here and kind of talk about some of this a little bit. If any of you followed me in the past, listened to my stuff, you know this is my passion, and the orthotics are kind of my soapbox a lot as well. So short answer is orthotics can be beneficial temporarily. I like to consider them as a Band-Aid. So that's short answer. Long answer. Hey, John. Long answer is this. So easiest way to do, hey, Joel. Easiest thing to do is compare them to a back brace after surgeries. Hey, Debbie. So after surgery, back surgery, neck surgery, surgeons will give a person a back brace or a neck brace to wear while the body heals. And then they wean out of that. So it's this thing that's used temporarily while the body heals itself, while the body strengthens, while you strengthen the body. Essentially, orthotics should be used the same way, but they aren't. Orthotics are a brace. You put them on the shoes to brace the foot. For some reason, it turns into these orthotics being worn constantly. Hey, Joanne. So these orthotics are worn constantly, and this seems like a normal thing for people to do. It's a very common thing that people will do. So essentially, it's like wearing a back brace at all times. So you're weakening the foot. You're putting it in a position that, yeah, it keeps it there, but it doesn't allow it to function there like it needs to. And so what happens when we're wearing these all the time is, one, the foot doesn't learn how it's actually supposed to do its job. The ankle doesn't effectively do its job. And when you're bracing a foot so it can't move, you're going to eventually have problems up the chain. In the hip and in the low back is the most common on where a lot of these problems develop later on. So if you're going to wear orthotics because the pain is severe and you have to in order to calm that down, awesome. But we also need to start thinking about what do we need to do to get you out of them long term. And it's not wear them for a week and then it'll be gone. It could be a several month thing as we go through this process. But ultimately, what we need to do is address the issue that is causing the problem. So when we're talking about foot issues, we could be talking about issues specifically in the foot itself for weakness. We could be talking about some ankle mobility issues. We could be talking about some tightness in the calf area itself can be causing some of this. And we may be even talking up the chain into the hip and low back. And finally, talking about running technique. The running technique itself can cause a lot of issues as well. So there's a lot of things that can happen up that chain that can be contributing to these foot and ankle issues. Anywhere from the foot itself, up the chain to that low back area, or to your running technique, or a combination of all of these, which is commonly what I see. So orthotics in themselves aren't a terrible thing if you're just going to get them for a temporary basis to calm things down and allow you to actually strengthen that foot like you need to strengthen it, allow you to actually take care of that hip issue, whatever it may be playing into these issues. But it's not something that I recommend for long-term use for anyone. With that said, there's probably a 1%, if that, part of the population that do require them because of actual defects, in the foot itself, in the leg itself. So at times they are needed, but those times are far and few between for constant wear. So hope that makes sense to you guys. If you have any questions, definitely post those questions on here. Any comments, any feedback, anything you've heard in the past, I would love to hear that as well, just to have a conversation with you. And as usual, if you have any specific questions for me, reach out to me on Facebook Messenger. I'd be happy to have a conversation with you. So hope you're having an amazing Wednesday, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.